I am the least practical person you will ever find. Not because I cannot make stuff, but because I cannot make sense. The same is true for unstable, but still it is full of practical jokes. If you did not see what I did there in the slightest, this video is perfect for you, because you will be confused all the way. At first I doubted whether unsets would be worth unpacking, with them being so unhinged, but now I know that this fits my personality best. Unstable has a few gimmicks, or actually it is 90% or more gimmick, but one of the most obvious is the hosting mechanic, where you can stick two creatures together and create a new one. Then they will share their effect. In this pack we have two hind parts, which is already impractical. I love it. The most obvious of the most obvious is adorable Kitten. She is a cute kitten with such a short innocent tail and an innocent playful face from Andrea Redek. Like most hosts, they have an enter the battlefield effect. In this case, you will gain 1 to 6 life after a dice roll, where dice rolls are another mechanic here. 6 life on a 1-drop is not at all bad. But what really grinds my gears is how obvious it is to make a cat. Everything is funny with a cat. Like a cat train, or half kitten, which makes you gain life whenever you lose life. So this card is way too practical. Just let me enjoy my kitten, please. A real challenge here is Scorpion. This one only gives a creature -1/-1, which is unpractical, and having a scorpion tail is just not funny. Except for when it's a half kitten, half scorpion. So great job on this design. Tang did a great job of making us feel like this scorpion really is not ready for the different height side. His claws in front of him and ready to get smooshed in the sand. That is truly impractical. I love it. Now here is the real practical joke. First, I have to now say quick stick lick trick a lot of times, and I will not do this take more than once. That is the real joke. Quick stick lick trick is a contraption from the Crossbreed Labs, which we can see from the logo in the bottom right. Why do I put quick stick lick trick with these host cards? Well, that is because the Crossbreed Labs invented them. What these geniuses do is combine creatures together to make a perfect society where everyone can be their true self. That's right, you as well. You are not your true self at this moment until you combine yourself with a frog. Then your life will be complete. Now let's zoom in to quick stick lick trick, which Chuck Lacax had the chance to make. He made 3 rabbits in glass containers, where the 2 back bunnies look in jealousy at the first who got the power to stick with its licks. Lick sticking is represented in Magic as giving a creature lifelink, by the way. Now for the real kicker, quick stick lick trick is the perfect representation of the shtick that was pulled on the whole Crossbreed Labs. Because one day they find out that their first versions might have been better for some of their subjects. So remember that if you are the rabbit, go ahead and stick your licks. But if you are a scientist, please only trick yourself. But the Crossbreed Labs were white and green, 2 lesser colors when we are talking about genius humor. The true king here is red. Red has the history of being the single bestest color in terms of jokes. Their jokes are never too far-fetched, and they will always tower over the others. Much like the mountain. Red's jokes are an art, where you try to stack as much history into one card. We have already seen so many great examples of this on this channel alone. I do have to note that John Evan did make a genius mountain here. It feels so lonely and unreachable, just like Red's joke. Guess where this Goblin Innovator corpse is from? He belongs to the Goblin Explosionist. These are an esteemed faction, and Jasper Icing did a great job of showing us their focus and determination when they craft their beautiful explosions. You can see the wrenches flying around because not being careful is really funny when you work with fireworks. In fact, you always have to have the chance to become your own art. So these riggers load their own bodies with dynamite and fire, like on this one's nose, just to be a little closer to the action. This one lets you assemble a contraption, preferably one that is explosive and random. The cruel Explosioneers are great experimenters who do follow after one another, out of choice, not because one explosion might cause another, although that would be fun. This faction also likes hammers, so when you want to do something, you will have to promise a lot of those. The leader of this faction is the one that makes the largest explosions, so keep working like Goblin, Innovator or Corpse, Tomato Tomato. I have a feeling that Jasper Icing must have felt right at home in this set. Here is another piece of art from him for this elemental horror. It is a horror because it is really scary to get left hanging, but also because if you high-five him, you will lose your hand. This one is really bright too, as you can see from the light bulb on his head. He also does the classical joke of having spikes in his hand for when you high-five him. The legend also lets you go outside of your game to high-five someone randomly. This elemental belongs to the League of Dastardly Doom, which are supervillains who are not really working together at all, but just coincidentally have the same goal of damaging things and being generally mean. This one's eyes are intentionally hypnotic, so let's not look at this for too long. Let's look at another side of practicality, that where people tend to want to make stuff, just to make stuff. Mass production, if you will, and this will lead us into the second theme too. Here we have our second Explosionist. I think this one did make something special. Wayne Reynolds is known for his focus in art, but we do see a massive fuse on the main round explosive. Remember hammers? This goblin holds one. And there is also a candle in the headlight. That should do the job for safety. The flavor says, beautifully, chitty chitty bang 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 bang, which is considered poetry in this group of Explosioneers. Which bang is the real bang? Not sure. Huh? But we had the other augments before. Why did you not put this one there? Well, that would be practical, wouldn't it? And this train also fits with my made-up theme of making stuff, which is a great theme, and you cannot stop me. This train gives your kitten 4 toughness, and then for 5 mana you can get 1 to 6 life. The best I could find is the steam-powered rocket, which lets you destroy a creature. This would require a lot of steam though, so maybe go for the steam-powered engine, which lets you make a Gnome creature token, which is just a 1/1, which you will get 2 of for just a 13 mana. Then for each 5, you get another 1/1 Gnome. I have seen too many Gnomes to trust these little pests. This one has too many tools that seem annoying, and I would prefer for these not to be made. So I am happy that these are so expensive. This was also an obscure reference which you are supposed to never get, which I like. Again, because it is as impractical as a 13 mana 2/2. Sometimes we need to look around us for new jokes. Inspiration is not infinite within ourselves, but in nature there are many patterns that spell out jokes. Target Minotaur is a bad example of humor from nature. It is something that you could find humor in, because a Minotaur is usually very aggressive, but the designers meant to make a joke about Minotaurs always being targeted in damage spells. And although this is sometimes true, I personally would have never found out. But then again, Some people might have gotten that joke and would have loved it. Target Minotaur also comes with 4 arts, where the cow is targeted by 4 different spells. Here he is turned into a steak. Now here is a natural joke that forces you to get it. It is still hidden and smart though. While you would have been forced to laugh about a storm with 40 crows in it raging around, there is a magic joke too about Stormcrow, but reversed. Then the spell is made way stronger by making it an actual storm sorcery. The first crow had the flavor Stormcrow descending, winter unending. Stormcrow departing, summer departing. The storm card from Tang has the same rhythm with Stormcrow lonely, boon for a birder, Stormcrows together, likely a murder. A murder of crows is also just a group of them. But when they are together in a massive storm, that is pretty deadly. So when you are in nature next, preferably this evening, look around you and see the jokes that you could find. It's fun, I promise. I talked about a next theme and did not explain it. That's funny to me too. My next theme that fit with gnomes was being evil, and this unset has a lot of that. The first piece of evil humor is one that I personally hate a lot. But first let us look at this new watermark, which is from the agents of SNEAK, which is an obvious abbreviation, and smart people will understand this. These agents are really bad spies with cool toys. They love toys so much that they have a golden ruler. Whoever has it is the leader of the organization. Agent X is for some reason very good at stealing this ruler as a rule. But back to Magic Word. This features one hypnotic spy and a goblin eating dynamite, and who looks at the clock with anger. It does seem like the goblin is not really hypnotized, but likes the food and therefore gets stabbed when the spy whispers the word. But let's not tell him that. The card also lets you choose a word and then lets you tap the creature over and over. But why is this evil? Well, people who force other people to say please are evil, and I stand by that. In the same vein, please do not force people to use capital letters. Those are mostly useless and should only be used as an accentuation. But then again, you might not know when a sentence starts, right? Well, this small doomsday man is on a quest to take pictures with all people taller than him and makes them explode. Can you imagine how many times his minions have to clean this wall? Well, it is a lot of times. Also, Matt made sure to spell out HQ for headquarters, I assume. These contraptions all look great. This one is from Franz Vollwinkle and features some snappy suits. With all these supervillains you will need a lot of weapons, because as we just saw, villains can be pretty lowercase. We also saw that the League of Doom likes to deal damage. Double damage would be fine. This one is funny because I imagine someone putting on one suit and then the other just mimics the movements of the first suit, so that it deals double damage. This could make some pretty funny situations for the League of Doom. Our second to last evil card is evil in many ways. The first being that this sneak agent has 6 versions, while all cards are named the same and look mostly the same. They have different effects when they deal damage to a player. To list them: 1. Deal damage equal to your dice roll. 2. Discard the card from an opponent with the longest name. 3. Destroy target creature facing left in its art. 4. Destroy target creature facing right. This one faces right itself. 5. Put the top card from the library from your opponent into your hand and lose its mana value in life. And 6. The least cool is the player loses a finger and cannot use it anymore. That is just the first way it's evil. The second is that I have to write this all out, which narrator me does not care about at all, by the way. Now, we will go through each flavor too, because each has a new abbreviation for SNEAK. 1. Serious non-stop espionage and kidnapping. 2. Silent ninjas evading any capture. 3. Sinister nerds eliminating all knowledge. 4. Skilled notably efficient assassin kickers. 5. Spies nimbly eluding adversaries' knives. 6. Subpar notoriously evil agent killers. I choose the last one anyways. Because today we are on the side of one of the league's main villains, which is Crusilda, other villains use gimmicks, like killer robots counting and rolling with numbers, but Crusilda here takes true beauty and brings it to the next level. Matthias Colrose made her hair like Frankenstein's wife, and Crusilda herself has a terrifying white jaw and huge claws, while her subject is in front of her kinkily strapped together with his head removed. The skin apart in other bottles and only its brain left to be experimented on, while a goblin beneath Miss Crusilda is ready to add to the mix, while Miss Crusilda sings her song of perfection. You might ask why she did not join the crossbreed labs. Well, Crusilda does not care for perfection or creatures becoming themselves. Crusilda wants to create monsters and wants to be a mean supervillain, which is why she gives them all menace when she is done with her art. She also lets you put 2 cards to the battlefield from any graveyard every time you tap her with 5 mana, which lets you make even more funny abominations. Jokes. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and please do go outside to see what funny things you can find.